righty, ladies and gentlemen. So something that has been ringing true for me lately, and I want to know if this is ringing true for you. Answer in the comments section, because I think this is something that is actually far more important than people are realizing right now. The quote that is ringing in my head lately, which is this: history is written by the victor. Do you know that quote? Have you ever heard that quote? Makes pretty much sense. The history that you are being taught, the thing that you learned in school, the passed down information, that's filtered and changed and sanitized and manipulated and massaged by whoever won. And of course, they're not going to put themselves in a bad light. So history is written by the victor. Now, I have been taught that was attributed to Winston Churchill. Now, I don't know if he's the actual originator. You guys can Google that. But have you heard that phrase? Number one, do you think it's true? I didn't say whether you agree with it. Do you think it's true? Comments down below, because there's a big reason why I think that we need to be paying attention to this right now. And that is a simple thing. Books, physical books. I grabbed this one just because this is a book that I torture my children with. Yes, I torture my children with this book. And if you're good, I might read a one or two out of the end of this. But physical copies of books, not digital information, not something that could be on here and then vaporized in just a second. I don't know if you remember a while back, it had to be, 8 years ago, Apple, this, maker of the iPhone, they had on their store that you could purchase. It was not really a purchase because it was like a lease. It was on here. You would pay them for a service, and then you would have access, like an MP3 library. You would have access to certain pieces of literature. Well, one of the pieces of literature that all of a sudden just one day disappeared was the book 1984, which just so happens to be a book that's heavily about censorship and the manipulation of information and how powers can be overpowering and change things and make you believe stuff that is not simply true, but because you were taught it and this is what you grew up thinking, or this is just now how it is, and therefore it's true. History is written by the victor. So, Brad, why are you bringing this up? Well, I keep seeing things that are slightly different from encyclopedia sets that I got from back when I was a kid, or we found them in thrift stores or half-price books where you can get the whole dang thing for pennies, or somebody wants to get rid of it out of their house. And you go and you thumb through and you start looking about things like the Cold War. And it's very different than what kids are being taught today, or different forms of government that end in communism. Kids now are being taught, oh, how great and wonderful this wonderland of sharing will be. And it's very different from what was being taught then. Now, history is written by the victors, or is it just simply being corrected? Ooh, Brad, you're getting nasty. Except here's the problem. There's still a lot of people that are living now that lived through those isms and lived through those Reichs and lived through that terror and horror and, oh, dare I say, hellscape that happens when people think they can just take advantage of other people and call it sharing. Everybody's coming along for the ride. So books are very important. Why? Because you can have a window into what was that cannot be changed, shifted, manipulated, switched, turned off, Wikipediaized. Isn't that interesting? Open source truth. Well, what if your truth isn't my truth and my truth isn't your truth? Well, which one is right? Which one's the truth that's the truth? And actually now it's so funky that a lot of people have grown up coming through the system and the education system, and they don't even care what's truth because they just want to have their outcome. Their side must win. Therefore, it doesn't matter what the truth is, and you can use the truth as a weapon against the other side because to a lot of people, it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is if they win, if their ideology wins, because they're right. And a lot of people, the end justifies the means. Now, I am not saying that is a good idea. I'm not. What I'm saying in this whole thing is that, you know what? History is written by the victor for the large percentage of people. That's why I think you need to have physical copies of important things. Here's one that I bet a lot of you guys probably don't know, is the Bible is constantly under attack. There are constantly people who want to take the Word of God and water it down and change it in the collegiate level. The professors, the teachers, the people that are teaching the pastors and priests and everybody, they want to change things and tweak things and water it down because you know what? It didn't really mean that. It meant this. Oh, society's moved on. Somehow, God has all of a sudden just decided he changed his mind and whoopsie, I got that one wrong. And I'm so glad that these professors and theologians and the big brain people are now going to correct what God said was truth. Bad idea. Don't do it. So it's a simple message today is get a hold of physical copies of important things. What really happened? And then you might even be scratching your head saying, well, Brad, your point is, how do you even really know what happened? Well, compare it, contrast it. Look back to, 20, 10 year, 15 year, 20 year, 30 year periods. Look back. Is it saying the same thing then as it says now? Is it now just parroting what leadership says you should believe? How about this? You get the information, you decide for yourself, but start looking into what is important, what is truth, what is really, really being manipulated, and what's not. All right, so I said it. There's the message, but here we go. You ready? Let's see if I can find something good. What do you get if you rearrange the letters of postman? Oh, that's not a good joke. It says a really ticked off postman. That's not very good. Let me try a different one. Some of these are good. Why did the detective stay in bed all day? He was working undercover. Yeah. One more. And then you guys got to put your own cheesy joke in the description below. You ready? Let's see. How do you keep your newspaper from flying away in the wind? Use a news anchor. Dun-dun-dun. You guys have an awesome and blessed day. All right. Bye.